Hello, friends. This is Sandy. Welcome to my Bloom Impressions card class. There's 11 cards in this workshop, and they're all from the Bloom Impressions papers. You've got 11 envelope or 11 cards that you're going to fold right in half. You've got a stack here of envelopes that are filled with the 11 cards that you're going to be making. You've got two different sheets of punch out pieces that you can go ahead and punch out now if you'd like, or you can wait. Three pieces of cardstock, a strip of hearts, and then two other punch outs. All of these fun embellishments are either from the Spring Celebrations Ephemera pack, or, oh yeah, so all of this is the Spring Celebrations Ephemera pack, which is absolutely fun. Can you love it or what? And then I use the Spotlight on Nature dies for all of this. So I'm going to start first just by punching all of my pieces out and making a little stack. So I just want you to notice with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames that there's something in the middle of them with kind of a divider piece in between. These 5 things are garbage, but I think you could probably use these if you wanted to, right? But we're not going to use them for our project. So then you've got 1, 2, 3 pieces of this paper. Let me just slide all these up now that match up to these frames. Go ahead and get those taped on there, and you're going to cut around them. And once you've got your frames cut, we're going to dive right in. So grab your first envelope on the top and grab the pieces. The first thing we're going to do is place that 4 by 5 1/4, and then put down that pink diagonal piece all the way flush along that left edge. Just a little more tape up in this corner. Sure that sticks. Then we've got this black strip that's going to butt right up to those flowers. Actually, I'm going to lay it right over top of the edge of the flower. It's going to bring down the edge of the flowers just a little bit and leave us a little more room for decoration. Now with this piece, I'm just going to pull toward me on one edge and give a nice ripped, ragged look there. And then that's going to line up. Make sure that the edges, this one was kind of down so that we'd have a weird point over here on this white piece. You just want to make sure that all the points are off the edge of the page. And then trim off your excess. Oh, got a little excess over here too. All right. So there's the start of our card. Now, let me bring this sample right in. What I've done is I've used a black journaling pen and I drew some lines around the edge there. Just for the sake of the video, I'm not going to do that, but know that that's fun and beautiful and you certainly can. Next, I'm taking the smaller of the two flowers, and that's going to go kind of down in this corner. I'm going to add a good luck, and if you want, you can use some foam tape and pop it up. I'm going to leave this one just flat. And I'm overlapping just part of that on that leaf right there. Then we're going to take one of these green guys and tuck it underneath. This was from the center of that frame. And I'm actually going to use one of these little blue dots because I'm putting this on glitter paper. It's going to have a hard time sticking. But if I use one of these super sticky, fabulous glue dots from Stampin' Up, then it will stick to the glitter. And isn't that fun the way it looks on the glitter? Then we've got our kind of peachy colored smaller butterfly. I think it's the smaller one. Nope, it's the bigger one. The bigger peachy one. And let me bring my sample up so you can see what I've done. Again, with that black journaling pen, I added a little bit of black to the center, and I even did little dots along the edge of the wings and little dots along the edges of the flowers. So as much or as little of that kind of detail as you'd like to do. I want my butterfly to pop up a little bit, of course. So I'm going to use just a little bit of foam on the back of him. And I want the corner of that. It's going to cover up the bottom of this flower and a little bit of the good luck. Not the words, just kind of the corner there. And then to finish this off, I want one of the medium-sized hearts. So there you go. Here's a more upgraded version with all the extra do's, and then there's a little more simple. Let's move on to our next card. So here we're going to use that black frame. This card starts the same way we did the last one. So we're going to add that piece. And then I'm going to put this along the edge of that. And then this time I'm going to use a piece of the glitter. A little bit of a trim. Aren't these fun? No muss, no fuss kind of cards. All right, so I'm going to add that black frame up in this corner. Then I'm going to take that little bird's nest, and that's going to slightly overlap the frame. Then using the congratulations, I'm going to pop that up. And then that's going right in the middle of that. Then to finish this off, this little splatter, what I've done is I've taken an ink pad and just put a little bit of ink here, used my water brush. I'm gonna hold my hand here so it doesn't make a mess on my project. Should have done this first, right? Just a couple little splatters of ink. And then make sure before you do anything else that you wipe up your ink mess so you don't get that all over everything. And then I did take my black journaling pen. It did black journal lines around the edge. That's it for that one. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. All right. This one's going to start the same way the last one did. So we're going to, actually, before we even get going on that, let's go ahead and do our little bit of, did a little bit of splatter on this one. So I'm going to grab a purpley colored ink and just rub that on there. Again, a little bit of water and some splatters. And while I give that just a second to dry, let me show you those double journal lines. If you've never seen me do this before, I go pretty fast and I kind of make it wonky on purpose so that you don't feel like you have to be perfect with it. If you do it wonky on purpose, then yeah, I meant to. So I do it pretty fast and I just kind of do a little bit of a wavy line as I go. Now, if you need a ruler, if this really bothers you and you need a ruler, grab a ruler. It also looks lovely if you leave it plain. All right, so here we've got that frame. And now we're just going to take these pieces and do a little diagonal across kind of the middle. I'm going a little further south than the middle. Putting a smaller one along the bottom of that purple, and I'm going to put the bigger one along the top. Then we're going to use our scissors and again trim off those edges. Now I'm going to take one of the thank yous. I want to make sure that the dovetail is on the left-hand side. And this is going to just slightly hang off the edge. So you want that top corner here to be right at the edge. And you want to keep the same line that you've already got going there. And again, just a little bit of a cut off the back. We've got some hearts and a little bit of a tree to add. So we've got a white glitter heart. And then I'm going to use one of these guys. Actually, we'll just use one of these and pop it. And then to finish off this little cluster up here, I'm going to grab one of the largest gold hearts and put that right up in here. Then grab the tree that comes in from the right and kind of swoops up. And you want to take this heart and go behind the top, but in front of the back one. So you've got a little bit of tree sticking out the bottom there. And then we're going to put some adhesive on all of that. And this is, don't you love the glass mat? Look how easy that comes right off. Okay. Then I'm going to place this so that it is starting off of my page. I want my heart to be straight. And my tree is going to swoop right up. And I'm going to add just a little bit of extra right there to make sure that part sticks. Then same thing over here, just a little bit under there. Flip it over and trim off the edge of that tree. And then I've got a teeny tiny little heart in gold right down in here to finish off that card. Love it. All right, we're going to use our next little branchy guy on this one. Starting with our purple paper right on the front. And then we've got these two. So a lot of the accent pieces, most of the paper is Bloom Impressions, but I did use the Seasons of Green and Gold paper. So this is part of Season of Green and Gold. And I'm going to put these two framed on the left, right, top, bottom there. And then this piece is going to nest right down in between those two. We've got a big circle that's going to go up in the corner, overlapping both of those pieces. Then down here, same thing, this circle overlapping both of those pieces. We want a thank you that has a dovetail coming out the right side. And that's going to sit right on that piece. Make sure you've got it going straight on the card. Now, if you want, you can pop this heart. I'm just going to use some glue and tape that right down. Now we've got this heart that's going to sit just slightly above the corner of this heart, or the circle. And our last branch is coming across that. You decide how much of the heart you want to cover up, but I do like the way it kind of sits right there on that heart. Then one of the biggest hearts is going to go right up in here, and this card is done. I know, right? It's so quick and easy using these ephemera packs, you know, these pre-done, just punch them out and use them pieces. The cards are still so beautiful. All right, a little Easter card. And I didn't mention this before, but obviously any of these pieces you could flip over and stamp on the back, and you can see the little dots or the dashes around the edge, so it gives it a cool frame. If you didn't want this to be a good luck card and you wanted it to be a whatever card, stamp on it. Easy. All right. So that just gets started with the orange right in the front. We're going to do the same thing we did before where we start on the edges and do your frames along the edge, same distance. Make sure your flowers are going the right direction. You can kind of tell by the way the grass is going, which way you want that to go. Now we've got this frame that's going to overlap the green and the yellow. Then we're going to run one of these beautiful, in this case, to me, it's, Jesus's crown of thorns, which is why I used that on this Easter card. So I really wanted to emphasize that it was for Easter. Then we've got our Happy Easter words that, again, you can lay flat or you can pop them up, but I like having it go, right on there so that you get that nice frame. Then we're going to take our pinky peachish small butterfly. Actually that's too big. I'm gonna take one of these and cut it in half and use it half on left and half on the right. Then that is coming right out of, that whole cluster there. Grab one of the medium-sized parts, and that goes on top of this butterfly, kind of as the body of the butterfly, and then a big heart inside the crown of thorns. And we'll finish this off with a glitter heart in the top. So this one I popped the Happy Easter, this one I didn't, but otherwise they're pretty similar. We'll work on our Thinking of You card next. I hope that you guys are liking how quick and simple and easy these are going together, and yet still so beautiful and elegant. So we're going to put that Bloom Impressions paper right on the front. And we've got some paper layering to do here with this. So this goes as a frame here and gets centered here. So top, left, right, take a look and see how centered you can get. Then we're going to add this one so that it's evenly spaced left, right, and top. Add this green piece underneath it. And I'm going to leave just a little bit of space. And I'm going to cover up that space with this die cut piece. Okay, then Thinking of You, right down here. I'm going to add one of the medium-sized hearts to the corner of that. And then all we've got to finish this one off is that beautiful butterfly. That you're going to put centered as well as you can in that black space. Woohoo! Let us go. Again, this is another one of those ones where if you don't want it to say good luck, turn it over and stamp on the back. Lots of choices. Let's take a look at your stash. And if you're here, let me know what you want and I'll pull it out of my stamps and you can use it while you're here. Okay. So this one, we're putting this piece about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom. And you've got these two glitter pieces. Both of them you're going to rip. So you may want to start with the bigger one because it's a little easier to rip. And then this one, you've got to really kind of get it started, maybe with your nail pinching, but you want this one to be a lot thinner. Then the smaller one goes underneath the floral design. And the bigger one goes above. Next, we're going to add that wreath. Right up in the corner. Add the bigger purple heart to kind of the center. I'm a little slightly down and over from center on that. Then our other purple heart is going to go in the bottom right. We've got our bigger orange butterfly that, again, if you want to, you can add some foam and pop it, or you can leave it flat. Then we've got an orange heart. It's going to go up in this cluster here. And we can add our good luck. I'm going to use foam on this one too. And that's going to overlap this purple heart. Then the last thing I did on this one is using the brown pen. I did dot dashes all the way around just to finish it off. Totally up to you if you want to do that. All right, with this one, we're starting with the thinner of the green strips. And that's going to go all the way to the left against the fold. Then glitter. Then purple. Then our other green. Then the notebook strip, die cut. The floral piece is going to go on the purple. I did it more along the left, but leaving a little bit of purple showing just for that extra little bit of dimension that it gives. Trim off any excess. Okay. Here we've got Thinking of You down in the corner. The pink butterfly, again, if you want to pop it, go for it. I also added a little bit of the black journaling pen in the middle of that butterfly. I'm going to leave this one naked. Then we've got a small heart just above Thinking and a medium heart up in this green area. And that one's done. Okay, so this one I did a lot of pen work on. I'll just point out the pen work. I'm not going to do it for this one, but you'll get the idea. It just shows you that, oh, I'm doing this one the opposite way, I guess. I'm not going to try pulling the tape off now. Still beautiful, right? So this one's slightly different, but you get it. So I'm tearing the green striped paper and attaching that along the right side of the card. On my glitter piece, I'm going to dovetail one of the ends, and then that gets taped along the edge near the bottom. Ooh, leave a little space first. We're going to add our heart, our circle, just slightly tucked underneath that glitter. Then we've got our thank you, and you want the one that's got the dovetail coming out the right side. And that's going to line up. I've got it slightly overlapping the glitter, but not much. Then we're going to take, we've got these little bits and pieces here. So the flower, the butterfly, and this green floral. The green floral first, then the pink I'm going to have kind of tucked behind there, right next to it. And it's slightly overlapping that leaf. And then we've got this butterfly. Now, if you want to pop it, you can. I'm just going to put it right down. Again, I used the journaling pen and black one. I did a black line with the journaling pen in there. I did little dots all the way around the inside of that circle. And then if you look real close, I put little dots on each of the 5, 6 flowers and added little dots down the sides of some of them. So let's put them side by side. Oh, add our hearts first. We need our hearts, guys. Big one and little one. All right, so now let's do a side by side so you can see the difference. Obviously, the papers are a little bit different because I flipped one over, but clearly this one is a little more muted and this one has a little more detail. Still beautiful, either way. All right, on this particular one, my heart is a little bit different than yours because I ran out of this beautiful paper. But otherwise the card's the same. We've got this floral piece that goes in the center. Then we've got a couple of strips. We're going to start with the pink or the purpley floral one that's got the fun swirls. And then the cardstock, Blackberry Bliss cardstock. Dovetail the white piece. And then I did, using the brown pen, I did dot dashes along the edge of this white one. I'm not going to for the sake of the video. And you can see the difference and decide for yourself how you want to proceed with that. Make sure I'm straight. Then we're going to add our thank you. Can you believe it? We're almost out of all of our papers already. That's because we're almost done with this. There's only one card left. We've got that heart, and then this has the medium-sized heart on the white piece and a teeny tiny heart down here on the purple piece. So this one doesn't have the dashes, but otherwise they're the same card. We are on our last card now, friends. I added blue splatters to this one, so let me go ahead and do that because I think it looks better with it. More brush. A couple up here too. Again, make sure you clean off your ink before you continue working on your card. I also want to point out, here's a list of the markers I used to color this beautiful bird, okay? Pumpkin pie, smoky slate, pecan pie, lemon lolly, shy shamrock, balmy blue, pool party, peach pie. Wow, three different pies, pecan, pumpkin, and peach, and then crushed curry. So I used a lot of different colors to layer that bird. And you can tell if you look at the flowers, if you look at the bird, there's a lot of different colors on there. You do as much or as little of that as you'd like to do. Okay. For the sake of the video, I'm not even going to color the bird. I'm going to leave him naked. But here's how we assemble this card. Back into view so you can see too. All right, so we've got our piece that we've splattered with the blue. And then this piece here is going to get torn on both long sides. And then I put that closer to the top than the bottom. It's not really a big deal where it ends up landing. All right, then with this congratulations piece here, I actually used the black journaling pen and I did a black journal line on the inside of that frame so that that stood out just a little bit more. See how the frame kind of gets lost. I also did a double journal line around the edge and added a little bit of orange marker. I think the pumpkin pie marker around the edge too, just for a little extra, a little extra. Then we've got congratulations that goes in the frame. You're going to color and add your bird. And then we've got our last two little hearts that go right down in here. 1 and 2. All right, friends, that was my Bloom Impressions 11 card workshop. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please comment. Thanks for watching.